Hey there, welcome back to the channel. So, true to my word, I did say I'd be wanting to do some more gear reviews, and why not? I have some time today. I sat down, played guitar, had a bit of practice, and I thought I'm going to review this charming fluorescent orange Japanese Ibanez RG565. I mean, look at that guitar. Did I mention it was fluorescent orange? My reasoning for purchasing this guitar was if I ever find myself on the moon with a telescope, I'll be able to find my way back home because I'll be able to see it. So yeah, it's very, very orange. These guitars kind of originated from the 80s, but 80s, man, it's just a decade, it's not going to bite you. A lot of people are like, oh, the 80s, oh, who cares? It's a Japanese built guitar from the Fujigen factory, so you're getting really, really high quality control. Very thorough, in-depth quality control. I've seen some reviewers, first off, before I talk about it in some depth, some reviewers of these have mentioned that the fret treatment, the fret edges aren't up to much. Not the case with this particular example. This arrived with the Prestige fret treatment, as far as I know. There is absolutely nothing wrong, quite the contrary, with the neck and the frets on this guitar. Straight out the box, it was in tune, despite the locking nut being unlocked. So I think I had to tune it in the Korg Pitch Black Pro. Just a couple of cents. There was one or two strings. The G string, our old friend, had to be tuned very slightly. It was a tiny bit flat. They usually they detune all your strings before they send them. I don't know why that wasn't done, but it didn't do this any harm whatsoever. So yeah, let's get started on this. It has a reverse headstock, which was a major thing for me. I mean, again, guitar acquisition syndrome. It doesn't let me pass any guitars that I see that look strange and unusual and different. Okay, it doesn't really look strange and unusual, but a reverse headstock, bit more rare than just your standard run-of-the-mill normal headstock. I really like the reverse headstock. Makes me feel like I'm Paul Gilbert, Not that I'll ever be Paul Gilbert, because Paul Gilbert has occupied that particular role, and I'm glad, because I have something to aspire to. So yeah, reverse headstock. Goto tuners, which is absolutely killer. Very, very high quality. That's the thing, right? I tend not to go near Ibanez guitars that aren't made in Japan, purely for the reason that I find the Japanese quality control to be super high and consistent and reliable. So I just feel they're so much better. So you're getting a really professional, high quality guitar if it's Japanese. Pay a bit more, get a bit more, as far as I'm concerned. So this looks like a 5-piece neck. It's got the 2 stripes running down the back there. Maple neck, maple fingerboard, luminous orange fret markers, because why not? Yeah. I've always wanted to get one of those Sims customs, with the LEDs. So I don't know, can you get orange LEDs? That would be something, right? It doesn't need, this guitar is an LED, really, isn't it? Okay, so moving on up, you've got a Hot Rail humbucker, single coil shaped humbucker in the neck, right? Very, very hot. I initially thought, I'm going to fire in some DiMarzio Evolutions in this guitar. Why not? Because stock pickups, you're like, no, they might be a bit naff. No. You heard the demo, they're hot, really, really hot. The output is especially high. I really do love these pickups. The bridge pickup just really, really sizzles. So absolutely no changes to this guitar. Not even putting coloured knobs on it, because if there was any more colour on this, I suspect it might cause issues with your tellies and your monitors and stuff watching this. It's colourful enough, so just like me. It sports the work of art, double locking, original, if you can distance it from the Floyd Rose thing. Ibanez's take on the Floyd Rose, basically the edge trem system. So not the Low Pro, not the Edge TRS, none of that. Carry on. It is the original Edge Floyd Rose style trem system. I predominantly avoided all double locking trems for the longest time, 10 years or more, because I had no luck with them. They don't stay in tune, they don't have a nice springy flutter, they break. I had a horrible experience with a guitar with a popping nut. Every time I went near the bar, it would make this horrible pop or crack. So that kind of put me off until I tried Ibanez's Japanese stuff, really high end. If it's the Edge, I learned it's a learning curve. All this stuff, man. So when you discover the Edge trem, not the TRS, not the Edge, anything else, just the Edge. That is, for me, in my opinion, the absolute best. The trem is springy, so you can have all this kind of a stuff going on. You get some great sounds out of it, and it always returns back to zero. Once it's locked, it's in tune. You get a good 4 or 5 hours, and then just like every other guitar, there's some slippage somewhere, unless you have a Evertune or something, one of those futuristic ones. Just a quick adjustment of the fine tuners and you're good to go again. So I've had this for a while now and I haven't even had to change the strings on it. It's just sweet. So that's generally it. It's got that really nice input jack there. Possible improvement would be the Gem Pia upside down one where you kind of push in from this end, but again, I don't really care, to be honest. It's a dying art now. You notice it all the time with people that wrap their cables round the strap before they put it in to prevent standing on the cable and then the thing pulling out, and all of a sudden you're plunged into silence. So yeah, that input, that kind of upside down input helps deter that, but again, not a massive game changer or showstopper. So just a quick look at the back. Not much going on in the back. Spring cavity in here. Again, improvement could be, I think, the magnetic cavity. I think we'll see a lot of those coming up in the next few years after the release of the Ibanez Pia, which has that. It's like a aluminium cover, which you just pull off, make your spring adjustments, pop it back on, the magnet pulls it, rather than 6 screws. You know, I think that's a massive development in the guitar world. So, but that, again, that's tradition really, isn't it? Until the Pia was released, we didn't have it, so we'll see what happens in the next few years. Electronics, cavity cover, again, I don't venture in there unless there's an issue with no sound, a broken cable, a mice living in it, I don't know, whatever. I avoid all that stuff, because if I would need a solder gun or solder, I would end up burning down pretty much most of the town in which I live. This goober here, another thing I should mention, the bridge thing that sits over the strings adds a little bit of tension every time. Again, cancelled out by the Floyd Rose lock and nut, but when you're tuning up, it gives you more stability, less slippage, so that when you finally do lock your nut and you tune up, it's going to be quicker, a much less painful affair. So yeah, that has been the Ibanez RG565 inverted headstock, maple neck, maple fretboard, luminous orange dots, hot rail style neck pickup, humbucker, I think it's a V8 or V7, somebody correct me, tell me, not having done my research, in the bridge, edge trem, 5-way selector switch. Yeah, I shouldn't neglect to mention that, 5-way. So you have top position, you've got your neck on. Next one down, you have neck and a single coil splitting out the bridge. Middle, everything. 0.4 is that? One of these split and then boom, right to the full bridge pickup. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Up next, we have a collection of custom guitars from a friend of mine, so I'm going to be reviewing those, demoing those. Not Ibanez, not commercial, handmade, custom made by a Scottish guitar builder. Very exciting. I've been playing his stuff for many years now, so looking forward to doing some reviews on that. Okay, so thank you. Like and subscribe if you like what you see for more guitar content. I have been Dev's guitar review. I don't know. We'll need to get a snappy title. Give me some suggestions. Catch you on the next one.